Hello guys and welcome back to part 9 of my Schalke 04 Road to Glory with data. Last episode you saw us going for some January transfers and the youth intake, which was pretty poorly, and the season hasn't ended yet, but I just wanted to show you one big thing before I go into the cup final. On the last day I was tied with Leipzig had 1 point more than us. Bayern München had 1 point at the same points as us, and Bayern München 04 had less points than us, and we actually managed to become champions. And let me just show you how that actually got on. So if we go to fixtures and results, here you can see it. So we were on 70 points, Bayern were on 70 points, and Red Bull Leipzig were on 71 points. Leipzig were away against Borussia Dortmund, and check what happened here. Almost like the gods had written it. They were up 2-0. Then those Dortmund equalized, or at least Orban made an own goal. And then in the 92 and 97th minute, they conceded 2 goals, which made it so they lost points and they actually lost that game. So with a tie, they wouldn't make it either. So I think they had just had to push from this point on, and then they conceded another goal. Bayern won, but that wasn't enough to win it on goal difference. So we won the Bundesliga on goal difference, which is just insane. So only after 4 months since I've been in charge, as we can see right here, if we go to Schalke 04 and we just go to, I think, Schalke 04 overview, see the history, we've taken over here. So they've fallen from the Bundesliga. We came in first in the second Liga, then we came in sixth, after that fourth, and now in first place in the Bundesliga with our highest points total ever. As you can see, the first season we got 55 points. The season after we got 64, and now we got 73. And normally 73 isn't enough to clinch the title, as you can see, but because everybody did so poorly, we actually won it, which is just insane, which means that my datasheet actually works very well. If you want to see how the datasheet works, go check out the link in the description. I do all my signing based on that datasheet, and I also do my whole team selection based on that datasheet. I will sim through to the DFB Pokal, and after that has happened, I will show you what we did there, if we won it, if we didn't win it, and I will show you all the other things. In the Champions League, I will also show you that already. We lost against Real Madrid away, and then we lost 3-4 against them as well. We had a pretty bad run here, and this was actually a pretty tough run here. Real Madrid, Dortmund, Real Madrid, Bayern, Borussia Dortmund, and Stuttgart. And before that, we also had Bayern München right here. So we had a tough end of the season. We did still manage to pull it off. Champions League came to the quarterfinals, which is pretty good, beating Arsenal on penalties. I will come back to you after the cup final. I will show you if we won the cup final and if we did any other things, and then I will just sim through to the end of the next transfer window to show you what kind of signings we made. So stay tuned for all of that in this episode. Hey guys, here we are again. We do the double. We win the cup as well. It was a very, very up and down match with a lot of chances. We had an XG of 3 and they had an XG of 3.6, but we turned it around. They had 2 heading goals, which was very weird. They had a lot of those. Whenever I play them, they score a lot with the head. But then we turned it around with Drago with 2 goals, Greenwood with 1, and after that we just sealed the deal and I just put everything on defend. Played pretty nicely, so also winning that in the fourth season is very, very nice. What I will be doing now is I will go once again into my scouting players tab and I will take all of this data that I've gathered over the over the season of all these new players, put it into Excel and see which players I would want to buy. Of course, there's a lot of A pluses here. I would have loved it if I could get Endrick in, but unfortunately, of course, he is already joining Bayern. So it will be something like this. Of course, I don't understand how how they got this guy so quickly. 25 million they brought him from Blackburn. But yeah, we're going to see what kind of players we want to bring in. Probably going to be some defenses. I don't know who's leaving. I saw some defensive players because Zissinger might need an upgrade and maybe like the back positions. Zissinger is wanted by a lot of clubs. So is Kone and so is Malasia actually wanted by Bayern and AC Milan. Greenwood is also wanted. Schallenberg is wanted. Luca is wanted. I'm not gonna try to pronounce his last name. So I think a couple of people can leave. I also have some people that I want that would really like it if they just left. But in the front, I don't think there's anything we need to change. We have Silva and Greenwood, which I'm very happy about. If Greenwood were to leave, I wouldn't mind it too much. Uedrago and Molero have also been performing very well. 7.6, 6 goals, 10 assists is really good, and Uedrago even better. 11 goals, 11 assists. Just perfect, so that's all good. In the midfield, I'm also very happy about, and I do think that this region that we had, Tobias Wimmer, I gave him a new deal for 30k for like 5 years, and I think he's looking good enough to becoming a starting player, but we'll see about that. I am going to scout a lot of players, see how we did. Um, of course, I will show you the finances. We're currently 200 million in the budget, and we have a transfer budget of 60 million with a wage budget around 1.4. I think we should have around 70k to deal with now. And of course, that is because we still have the net debt. We did pay a lot of our debt off, so only 110 million net debt. So we could pay some off. I don't know if they actually will do that. We'll see about that anyway. We are going to be spending all of this money. You can be sure of that. We'll bring in some reinforcements so we can retain that Bundesliga title and actually do better than last season in the Champions League. I will be back in a few seconds. For me, it will take a long time, as you already know. But I will show you what kind of signings we made, how we did, and what kind of signings are going to make a difference for us. So, see you in a couple of seconds. Hi guys, before we go to the transfers in a little bit, I just wanted to show you how we did this season. So the new arrivals, we of course had a lot of new arrivals this season. We had Malik Tillman, who actually came from Bayern, Alberto Moreno for 33k, Malasia 30k, Solina, goalkeeper 22k, 17 appearances, 7.05 rating. It's pretty good. Malasia, of course, 7.22 rating, very nice. Gilberto, who didn't really play a lot, but when he played, he was okay. He only signed for 1 year and now he's leaving again. Gabriel Silva, of course, from Sporting, also 23 goals, 30 apps, 12 goals, 5 assists. We bought him halfway the season and he still got 12 goals. So that means that if he's a whole season for us, he will make 25, 24. Of course, also said goodbye to some big name players. Bulut went for 62k, just not that much. Arthur 36, Lotka, I think somewhere. Isaacson, yeah, also in here. It's 85k to Atletico Madrid. When he makes enough appearances, we get a lot of that chunk of that money, so that's good. All of these loans, Mittelstadt is leaving for good. Slotterbeck we already had to recall because they weren't buying him, and Dardai actually doing very well for HSV as well. So let's see to the season results. Of course, finished first in the Bundesliga and our top scorer was Mason Greenwood. Then in the Champions League we got the work down by Real Madrid and Malik Tillman and Uedrago were our top scorers. And in the DFB Pokal, Malik Tillman actually our top scorer. We won it as well with a 3-2 win against Leipzig. And before that we actually knocked out Borussia Dortmund 5-0. So that was also very, very good. Our biggest win, 6-0 against Michelin. That was an easy game. Match to remember, the 1-2 victory over Leipzig. If we didn't win this one, we wouldn't have crowned champions. So, of course, very important. Then let's go to the finances, which I always find the most interesting. We did get more competition prize money this season because we finished first in the Bundesliga and, of course, our first season in the Champions League, which gave us a lot of money. Extra competition prize money we got from that. And sponsorships got up a little bit. We didn't gain any new sponsorships. However, I do see that our total merchandise sales have risen up because it was around 10 million and now it's 11.36. So sold over 500,000 shirts with Drago, Kone, Molero, Greenwood, Tillman. Tillman actually is a surprise here. I would have expected maybe that Malasia would be here, but Tillman is apparently very popular. So how did we line up? So as you can see, our attacking four have been doing pretty well. It's just in the back that I want some upgrades. So I think Singer has to go. Maybe I will look for a replacement for Kunze. But these two positions in the midfield are just very hard to get good ratings about because the only thing they do is defend. So I kind of expected that from them. Anyway, overall, pretty good ratings. Really like that. Then the accolades. Defense player of the season was Malaysia, with the young player of the season going to Uedrago, and the signing of the season actually to Malik Tillman. Didn't expect that, but probably because he came in on a free and did pretty well. Then record breakers, most assists. Molero 14 assists in the season. That's the most player of the matches for Uedrago. 10, and Kone, most expensive fee paid, 50 million for him, but I think that's going to be broken very soon. And I see the manager timeline, of course, the 5-0 win, bringing in some new talents. Martin Mosca, I think I already showed you that we brought him in. He's been playing a lot for us as well. So let's just finish this up. And then what I wanted to show you is if we go to our squad, you can see how well and how much every one of our players played. So Martin Mosca did play a lot for us. He's a new Argentinian that we brought in. He has really high potential, but I can't really find a nice spot for him to play in my team. Maybe the ball-winning midfield position, but he doesn't have the aggression that you really need for that. Because I think for that you do need high aggression, and he doesn't have that. So maybe it's just a simple case of us having to just loan him out, but we'll see about that. Most valuable players, definitely Greenwood, Drago, Silva, Malik Tillman, and Albert Molero, if you look at the goals and assists. And if you look at the highest ratings, you see Gilberto here, who's going to leave. But actually, everyone really pitched in this season. I did play my youngsters a lot as well. As you can see here, Martin Bush played a lot. He is a youngster we were trying to play in the inside forward role, doing very well. Could also break through next season. Has a contract for 1 year, but I think I will definitely get more years on that for him. So that's how we lined up like that. I just want to show you that the next clip you will see is of me showing you what kind of transfers came in and what kind of transfers gone out. So see you then. So here we are, guys, the end of the transfer window. This is how we're looking right now. Still studying for that Continental Pro license. Looking pretty good. This is how we're doing in the league right now. So we have drawn against some pretty powerful teams. We are winning in the league 3 games, and we're playing very, very well. We beat Mainz, Nuremberg, and Freiburg, each with 4 goals. We won the Super Cup from FC Bayern, and we made it through in the first knockout round. Before we start, let me show you how we've been doing and who we've drawn into the Champions League. Barcelona, Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, Dortmund in the Bokal, second round already. Then Paris, Rennes, Brondby, Chelsea, and Pantelope, which is of course Napoli. Those are the ones that we have to beat to get to the next round of 16. So should be doable, a lot harder than last year, but with the new and improved squad, it should be very much doable. Let's go to the transfers. First things first, let's see who went out. So we have all of these loans out for players. Martin Bush, a promising young winger, has gone to Torino. Slolina, our backup goalkeeper, we have loaned to Nuremberg, and they're buying him for 20 million next season. So that's pretty good business. Then Marco Wiedmeier, an exciting prospect, also left on loan to NEC in the Eredivisie. Then Weizenbach we have loaned out, but he's going to leave after that. Caio Jorge we have loaned out. Luka Potlech, who's a backup goalkeeper, and Martin Mosca, who we bought last season for 7 million, went to River, back in his homeland, seeing if he can get some playtime because we didn't really have a position for him to play. Then we sold these sales you probably already saw. We also sold Ron Schallenberg for 6 million. Wasn't really playing a lot anymore, was a backup, so 6 million is good enough. Then Ben Stardai left for 7.5 million. Brought him in as a young prospect a couple seasons ago. Didn't really make it. Loaned out last season, and I just needed the money, so I sold him on. Then, unfortunately, Patrick Kasongo has left us, a very promising young prospect, but he didn't want to sign a new deal. So he is now moved to Arsenal for 50 million. He looked pretty good. He has a fickle personality, so not sure if he can get his potential. 50 million we got for him, so not too bad. Then Elias Saad and Ziesinger went to both to Al Tai. Ziesinger for 20 million, 29 years old, end of his career. Elias Saad, we didn't really play him anymore that much, so 50 million is good to get from him. Then Jonas Urbik left for FC Porto, our first goalkeeper, of course, but we got a better player for him. 30 million we got for him, which is pretty nice. That really boosted our income. And then also sold Mason Greenwood, who of course we got on a free. He did pretty well for us, but his attitude is like pretty bad. So I sold him for 69 million, and that made it so we could bring in a lot of good players. So first things first, I think these four players you already saw us buy. Fabian Carvalho and Tsimikas, both from Liverpool, came in. Then Alexander Krimins, who is a backup striker for us, could still improve. Currently playing for our second squad. Could still improve. Only 7 million or 2.5 million, which is not that bad. Then Emiliano Dopazo we bought in. He's our backup striker right now, looking very, very good in that position. Just backup, could still have a high potential ceiling for us. So looking forward to how he will develop. Then an absolute legend as a backup winger, just a young player, still could really play in that inside forward position in support. Has 17 crossing, 17 technique, insane mentals, and of course driven personality with a very high potential ability. So really looking forward what Ibrahim Chukwu can do for us. Bought him for 10 million. And then we go over to the big signings. Marco Karneski, 27-year-old goalkeeping legend. He's going to be our starting goalkeeper for this season. He was a lot better, according to my data sheet, than Urbik. So bought him in for, I think, 27 million. So the same amount we sold Urbik for. He can still play for like 5-6 full seasons before we have to get a backup goalkeeper or another goalkeeper. So very glad to have signed him. Then we also have bought in Thomas Araujo, a new backup or a new starting ball playing defender. A very good player, very well rounded. He's our starting center back from now on. 125k. It was very expensive to get in, but very happy that he is here. Then also from Benfica, João Volesso, one of the best players in the game, I do think. Can play anywhere in that center midfield, but we can also just retain him to play on the wings. Just a very good player. When I was looking at my data sheet, he was the best player that I had available. So of course I was gonna get him. 46 million, which could rise to 78. Very expensive contract, 225k a week, which is just insane. But he accepted it, so that's nice. Model Citizen, so definitely one of the most expensive signings we're gonna make. Very expensive contract, but he will be worth it for sure. And then last but not least, Gio Scalvini from Atalanta, 81 million straight up. Poached him under the nose of Liverpool, and he's our new ball-winning midfielder. Very good player. Great physicals, great mentals, great technicals. Just an overall great player. And let me just show you, we have actually nothing left in the transfer budget once again. Our finances are looking okay, 120 million in the plus, while also going over our wage budget by a lot, 1.7k. And also something to note is that we are improving our stadium. So if you go to facilities, 87k, it's reduced by 4k, but it's going to be expanded by 15,000 seatings, I think in 2028. So pretty good to see that. And last thing I wanted to show you is how we're lining up right now. So this is how we line up when we play our main games. Karneshi in goal with Malasia and Siminikas as our wingbacks, Manokone and Araujo as our ball-playing defenders, Franco as our segundo volante in attack, Scalvini as a ball-winning midfielder, Veloso as a shadow striker, and Quadrago on the wing as the inside forward, with Molero and Silva in the attacking forward positions. And let me show you something interesting about Silva. He's already scored 7 goals in his first 3 games. So if we go to competition here, he's a top goal scorer. Well, Sesko is also not doing that bad actually. a top goal scorer, which is very good and nice to see. And then on the bench we have, of course, Dopanzo, Rogerio, Kunzes, who's still here, Fertility Becker, Wimmer, our youngster who's made it into the first team now, Chukwu, Tillman, Carvalho, Tom Kraus, Alvaro, and Aitlin. I didn't manage to sell him. So those are the transfers that we've made. I'm going to be simming through to January, which should be around here. We will have a lot of games played by then. We'll have to I will take a look at what kind of signings we could make in the January transfer window. And once again, if you want to see how I make these signings and how I decide which player can play well there, check out the datasheet. The datasheet will help you out a ton. There's a link to the video where I explain how it works in the descriptions. And if you don't think that the datasheet works, check this out. We have gone from Schalke. Let me see here. Can I click it somewhere? We have gone from second Bundesliga to winning the Bundesliga. Well, very closely, but still winning the Bundesliga in 4 seasons. So here we got promoted first season, second season, sixth. After that, fourth. After that, first. And we're now going to try to see if we can actually get that Bundesliga title once again and make it through to the Champions League ladder stages. Anyway, that's all for next episode. For now, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you've enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe down below for more. And I hope to see you in the next one. For now, take care.